Yo, how's everyone going today? My name is Professor Prawn, and I'm going to play to you some early access of AlexAndTheJets by the new startup company Hoopo. They've been so kind enough to give me an early access file so I can preview this game. I tell you what, I'm having an absolute ball. So stick with me and I'll show you how this game plays, and you too can purchase it very soon off the MetaQuest store. Let's go, yo! So here it is, AlexAndTheJets. This is Hoopo's Hello World game. It's their first game of this startup. And it's really cool. There's a little garage here that you've got, so you got some hats and some skins that you can unlock. At the moment it's still like a little bit basic. I've only got a limited amount of skins and stuff, but at least there's something there to progress through and to aim for, which is really nice. Got some options here. You can change the object size of the donuts, which are like the hoops you have to fly through. You can change your primary controller. I'm left-handed, so I'll keep it on left. And yeah, real basic stuff, but it works and it's fine. The controls are really intuitive and fun. So let's start. Cool, there's free roam tutorial. I'm just going to kick it off. Let's go. Cool. So there's Alex. You shoot by pressing the top button on both controllers. I really love how you can I like to walk around the room to get better purchase on where I am. If you've got like the size of the room to do that, then that's the way I have enjoyed playing it, like walking around, not being seated, not being stationary, but you could play it like that. I mean, there's, yeah, preferential up to you. Oh, I missed it. That was the hoop there that had the upgrade. It kind of reminds me a little bit like of those old arcade games, like in the Commodore 64. Yes, I'm that old. Back in those days, 1942 and those kind of ones, but like an augmented reality version of that. And it's fun. You know, the controls are intuitive. The graphics are nice and, you know, fluffy and bright, but it's aesthetic. It kind of reminds me of like the Duplo, like those toys you get for kids. You know, like it's got a very kind of childish aesthetic to the character design and the models, you know, which is good and fine and cute and fun. But it kind of because of that, it kind of looks like it appeals to, you know, a 5-year-old or a 6-year-old. And I'm sure that kids would absolutely love this, like younger kids, because of that aesthetic. 6, 7, 8-year-olds would go absolutely bonkers over this. Us old farts might get turned off by that a little bit. But it's fun. You know, it's a little bit tricky. I just died. You know, it's not super easy. It's something that you could, you know, keep playing at for a while, which is good. And it's got bosses and it's got stages and it's got upgrades and things like that. You know, and I mean, it depends. I don't know how much it's going to launch, but I think price is going to have a big factor. You know, if it's like $5 or $6 or something, then absolutely everybody should try this. If it's like $14 or $20 or $25, then, you know, like maybe it's a bit overpriced for the amount of content that is here. And it's an excellent start. You know, like it's solid. The controls are probably the best thing. Like the controls are bang on, and it feels great. It feels like I'm flying a toy airplane around my room. and there's all these other toys coming in. That's great. I think what could make this game so much better and amazing, though, would be if local multiplayer, or even online multiplayer if you have another person coming in, but local. Like if I had 2 headsets, co-op and PvP, so like taking down the enemies together or shooting each other. Like if I had like a brother sister kind of thing going on, like you could play that for hours just trying to shoot each other or trying to tackle the enemies together. It'd be awesome. I think this is just begging for local multiplayer mode. And when I play this game, especially with the bosses, I keep getting like flashbacks to Sonic the Hedgehog. And the great thing about Sonic the Hedgehog when it first came out was the characters, Eggman and I'm going to get you, Sonic, and the voices and everything like that, and how the character development of that game. Like the Sonic the Hedgehog was such a good game, even like back in the Mega Drive days, Sonic the Hedgehog 2. The levels are good, and you could just play levels over and over and over again because the levels were fun. But then you get to the bosses, and then the Eggman would come, and you get learn a little bit about his character and the lore of the game and stuff like that. And through that, and I don't hear any voices or any characters here. It's just like, who's she, and why isn't she going, Alex, come on, rah, 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 let's take you down, or whatever. The other thing that I've been thinking about whilst playing this game is the Nintendo 64 game, one of my favorites on the Nintendo 64, Star Fox. And I played that game so much. And again, like my Sonic example, like the Star Fox game was so good, because of the characters. They had Peppy, and they're talking to him all the time, and giving tips, and the relationship between his crew that he had, and then the bosses, and just the way that they tell the story is what keeps you going. The levels were fun and everything, and the controls were great, and the music was good, but it was the story. Like, look at this. How cool is that? Instead, she just appears from the middle of nowhere unannounced, and it's like, how much better would it be if it was like, even if something flashes on the screen, so-and-so appears, I'm gonna get you, Alex, and so there's a couple of little things that need to be fleshed out here. I mean, this is an engaging title, but it feels a little bit tech demo-ish still. And some of the best titles, mixed reality titles on the Quest 3 are not tech demo-ish. They like really take you through and engage you. Like Walltown Wonders, for example, that's such an engaging game. The story elements and it's so good. And it's like, let's look at those games like Sonic the Hedgehog. What makes those games great? What made me as an 8-year-old play Sonic the Hedgehog on a Mega Drive 2, Mega Drive 4, hundreds of hours? Break it down. Try and work out what the magic source is, and then how do we bring that magic source into a mixed reality environment? And why can't we have that Sonic the Hedgehog magic source? There's no reason. What you have to do is add it in. And if you do, it's just going to propel this game into something that's a tech demo, into a fully fledged thing that people will play over and over again, and would be worth that $25 mark. At the moment, it's not quite worth the full price, I think, because if you add a multiplayer into this, then yes. I mean, straight up, if you just added multiplayer and nothing else, no story elements or anything, just multiplayer, then I'd be going, you would be stupid not to buy this game. And as a solo experience, like, it's fun for me for a couple of hours, and then I'm like, yep, I'm done here. But if I had a multiplayer game, I'd be like, trying to find another headset, playing it with my daughter, playing it with my friends. It would be so good. And when there is a multiplayer aspect to this game, then I would also want PvP and also potentially a race mode, like where you put up the rings in your room and you move the rings around and make your course. A little bit of player customization is so good for MixedReality, where you can, move things around your room and stuff like that. I think that's really important for MixedReality, and that's an opportunity there that could be explored. If it was like a Mario Kart kind of component to this as well, when you have the race and then you shoot them and then they have a bit of a little spin out and it slows them down like in Mario Kart. Then you can have power-ups and things. Either as DLC or Alex and the Jets 2 or Alex and the Jets Race, like a different game but based on Alex and the Jets. Could be awesome. So much potential here. I love where it's at, but I feel like that there's so much more potential. There's so much more that could be done, and like the character models are great and they're really creative and they got a lot of detail, but they're missing that depth that a little bit of story writing would bring to the table. Don't forget that video games have always been about story, and they're also about driving things around and having fun, but video games are one of the most powerful storytelling mediums currently in the world, and video games tell stories in all sorts of different ways. That's why there's so many different types of video games, because they tell stories in different ways. The way they tell stories is different, which is what makes people explore different types of video games. And when I play these games, I get reminded of other games. That's when it's like, let's borrow elements off those other games. Play Star Fox 64, or play it all the way through to the end and go, yep, the way they tell that story, the way they create the characters, the relationships, let's borrow a bit of that. Nothing wrong with borrowing ideas off other things that have been successful in the past. That's how everything progresses and evolves. But I love it, I do. I think it's heaps of fun, and I think that if I was a kid, I could be playing this for a very long time. Especially if it was like the only game that I had on the Quest, I'd be like quite happy and content mucking around with this for hours and hours, or maybe a couple of hours. Give me a story, give me something to strive for, like an end, levels and things and more unlocks and like there's a couple of unlocks there, but I was like, oh, there's only a few unlocks. I could get that in a fairly short period of time. What else is there to strive for? You know, like I need like a goal, I need like some kind of evil thing that I need to destroy for some reason to make me feel really successful when I've achieved that goal. Yes, I feel it's like, you know, I killed the evil, I did the thing, you know, the challenge, the bad guy, all that kind of stuff. At the moment, I just feel like I'm just driving a toy car around my space for no reason. So yeah, fun game. Definitely buy it. There's so much more potential. And I hope that someday Hoopo makes that potential, because I think Alex and the Jets deserves it. Don't forget to like and subscribe always. See you, ciao.